Hi, my name is Caleb Galaraga and you are watching Profiling on Job Show TV. I am the HR and Communication Manager of Staff Pro New Jersey, and I'm here to profile my organization and to tell you why we are the best healthcare staffing agency for you and your healthcare career. When did we start our business? So when Staff Pro started? So in 2019, it's around the spring of 2019 when it was founded. And our co-founders, our director of operations, so technically we're a very young company. We've only been in the business for 3 years, but they brought in a lot of experience. Our director of operations has been in the industry, especially on the staffing side, since 2008, 2009. So like that's many years, 14, 15 years. And not only in one industry, but really in multiple industry, in IT, in nursing. So they really brought in that kind of expertise. And our boss, our president, actually came from the healthcare administration side also for many years. So they really brought in this kind of expertise in the market when they started Staff Pro a couple of years ago. What was the mission when we started Staff Pro? So in healthcare, shortage is a very common thing. Okay, shortage is everywhere. Our recruiters know that. There's always a lot of needs. There's always a lot of requirements that has to be met. And because of that, again, the individuals who started Staff Pro are veterans. They saw that need and they really want to become the strongest link with the healthcare facility and the job market to ensure that, number one, the job market, they will have the opportunities they need to grow their healthcare career and while earning competitive rates, and at the same time for the client facilities to have really a more cost-effective way to meet their staffing requirements. So that's the mission, to become the strongest link between the healthcare facilities and also the healthcare professionals, and to ensure that both their needs are met. How many employees does Staff Pro have? So in healthcare staffing, things change a lot. It fluctuates because people work as needed. But at any given time, we have roughly 120 to 150 people working for us. Okay, and that are from in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and they are nurse aides, therapists, allied health professionals. We have some non-clinical positions, as well as certified nursing assistants and RNs. So around that range, 120 to 150 at any given time. What are the goals of Staff Pro? So, of course, our mission is to become that strongest link. But at the same time, we really want to be the agency of choice. And the agency of choice not only for the healthcare facilities, but even for the professionals that we recruit. We want them to think of Staff Pro really as a place wherein they will not only have extra job, to add as one of the companies that they work for on a per diem basis, but really as a place where they can grow. So depends on, again, we don't force anyone, but we have some employees who want to go from CNA to LPN or sometimes from LPN to RN, and we want to be that agency that will accommodate their growth and that will even encourage them to move up the nursing ladder if they choose to. So that's our mission. And of course, for our healthcare administrators, and we see everyone really as our partners in care for the patient to elevate that quality patient care. And the goal really is to meet their needs, to ensure that we have enough people in the pipeline to be able to meet their staffing requirements. Definitely, yeah. So does our company, the Staff Pro, utilize any performance rewards? 100%. In any business, it's very important to encourage people, to incentivize them, especially for good performance. And we do have our common, something that most companies use, like if there's a winter storm, we provide an incentive just to encourage them to get out. If there's a shortage, then we have a shortage differential. But at the same time, we have certain performance incentives that are unique to the certain needs of the team members that we have at Staff Pro. So it's not, we don't only provide across the board incentives, but we also have certain incentives and performance bonuses that's unique to the needs and to the goal of every team member. And at the same time, we also assess regularly the performance of our employees to be able to, again, give them a performance incentive. Does the company offer in terms of pay to employees? I would say we offer very competitive rates. Okay, and I remember, I think it was only this week or last week where New York City passed a law that companies have to disclose their salaries on their job postings. Well, we've been doing that from day one. That whoever is applying for our job positions, for the availabilities that we have, know what they're getting. And we have very competitive rates, whether it's for temporary nurse aides or RNs, or physical therapists and occupational therapists. What changes have we made to our business strategy over the past few years? When we started, we really have a very high touch culture, because in 2019, we want to meet people. We want them to see Staff Pro and recognize that, oh, we're legit. We actually have an office. So they fill out the forms in our Elizabeth office, and they do the orientation on site, even the onboarding on site. But then COVID hit, and I actually when I got into this company, it was really at the height of COVID, around April 2020. So we had to make the necessary changes of doing most of our business processes remotely. And what that does is it really opened up more doors for people to really be able to come in and to apply. And when we had the temporary nurse aide position, which is going to expire soon, is that we really accommodated a lot of people who may not even have a lot of healthcare experience, but they're willing to learn, they're very adaptable, they're willing to do the job of a certified nursing assistant or a nurse aide, and we provided that accommodation. So the changes are, we've done a lot of changes. We've actually even expanded our support team from 1 people to 3 people. So those are the certain kinds of initiatives that we've implemented in order to accommodate more people and, to be sensitive to what's happening around us, especially with this pandemic. How would I describe our company's workplace culture? So we're a growing company, and we really, of course, we have a structure. Someone has to report to someone. That's very standard in all companies, but we're also open to ideas. So we're very network structured. So Our bosses, I would say they have open doors, but it's more like open Vibers that you can just send them a Viber message. You can ask them questions, and we have that kind of culture wherein you can speak up. You can ask questions. You can get the advice you need to be able to do good at your job. And that's the kind of culture that we have, is that we want, although we don't want to do the high touch because obviously of the kind of environment we're in, but we're attuned to the needs of everyone we work with. Yes, I believe so. The question is, does the business give back to the community? And I believe Staff Pro does. And it's very much within the business that we do. So we even have certain instances wherein we have an employee who needed certain funds to get to work. And where can you find an agency that will actually help you get to work? And we've done that. And that's the kind of heart, that's the kind of motivation that we have here at Staff Pro, is we really want people to do their job and to do their job well. And we provide the resources that they need. And that's one way that we give back to the community, is we really help our employees get the job and to get the job done. And I remember also, I think this was in 2020, wherein our boss even provided some kits, some drawing kits to the children of our staff members, of our team members. So that's another way that we just show that we care and show that we're aware of what's going on in their lives. What is unique about Staff Pro? We're unique in a sense that we may be a staffing agency, and we're in, the people work per diem, some of them go in and out, but we're an agency who are very much committed to building relationships. So we have people in the company who are working since the start, since the very beginning, who are still with us today. And that's the kind of agency that we want to become. We want to become their agency of choice no matter what, okay, for as long as they want. So sometimes, obviously, they would want to take a break. Again, as a per diem entity, as an organization that provides per diem opportunities, they can do that. And then we want them to come back and work for us again. So that's really what makes us unique, is we think of the long term, not only for ourselves, but even for our employees. Which qualities do we look for in a new employee? Definitely, of course, competence is very necessary, especially in healthcare, because to provide quality patient care, you need to know what you're doing. But at the same time, we want them to be consistent and to be committed, okay, especially when it comes to showing up for their shift or to getting the job done. And there's also a reward for loyalty. I think that applies to in many instances. When you shop at a particular store, they give loyalty discount, or when you're friends with someone and you're loyal to them, there's a certain kind of advantage. So the same thing with us, we value loyalty. So competence, loyalty, and of course integrity and honesty, those are the basic things that we look for in an employee. how would we describe our company's success so far? Well, it has been, we consider ourselves to be fast growing. That's one. And of course, we're just beginning, we're just starting. And I would describe our success as something that's very, of course, very pleasant. We're very happy with the amount of people that we're able to bring into the agency. But at the same time, we want to think of ourselves as an agency who is still growing, who still has a lot of potential, and really to be an agency who can do a lot more for our team members. So again, our success, we're just beginning and we're excited for more. The moment, again, we're in a fast growing stage, so we haven't really been on that black mark of the balance statement or income statement, but we do expect to be profitable very soon because there's a lot of demand. And our task now is to be able to scale this business, to be able to provide our recruiters, our scheduling team, our HR, the necessary resources they need to be able to expand. So we are on track to profitability, and as the goal now is to continue growing. So revenue obviously has been growing in terms of numbers, headcount has been growing in terms of numbers, facilities have been growing in terms of numbers, and we're on track to be profitable. Resumes are why are resumes important? Resumes are important because it gives us an overview of the candidate, of what they have accomplished in their work life. And one thing is, even if a certain applicant doesn't have a lot of experience, we know if they put in effort in their resume. So it's possible to create a good resume. So a resume is basically something that gives us a good first impression of the applicant. And that's why it's very important to take time. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of experience or not much experience, but if you take time to format your resume correctly and not just list your name, number of years, and your previous facility, then that gives us, as a potential employer, a good impression. Okay, very good question. What does the typical hiring process look like in our firm? So first, it's sent to our recruiters. Our recruiters assess if this person is qualified or not. And then sometimes they consult with our director of operations if this person is good to go. And of course, as a healthcare staffing agency, the one who gives the final decision on every employee, if they will take them in or not, is the administrator or the director of nursing, the assistant director of nursing, or the HR manager of the facilities. And they're the ones who give, quote unquote, the verdict if this employee will be confirmed. And so that's the kind of process. It's like we onboard them, we entertain them, we filter them out if necessary, and then we propose and pitch them to the healthcare facility or to our clients. What is our corporate approach to employee morale? Well, very hands-on. So again, as I've said earlier, we really want to think of employees as someone who is growing or who wants to grow in their position. So we encourage them, again, if they have any questions, if they have any concerns, if they have any needs that we can meet. There was an instance wherein we've already released the tax forms, right, for our employees, and there has to be a certain change to a certain tax form. And rather than letting the employee pay for it, we shoulder the cost. So just to give them that boost that, we care for you and we're here to provide the resource that you need. And we want to go the extra mile for our team members, especially those who have been loyal with the company for a couple of years or even like a couple of months. What are the most important employee traits? So, very good question. I think it's similar to the kind of characteristics we look for in employees. We want them to be loyal, we want them to be competent, we want them to be committed, and we want them to be honest. How do we handle a major client who is upset with our service? Well, we have to rectify it and rectify the problem ASAP. And one particular situation comes to mind is when we advertise for a certain facility, we made the mistake of putting their name and actually putting the rate. Okay, because again, we disclosed the rates. And what happened is the union, they actually complained because we were giving higher rates than what's typical. And of course, what we had to do is we had to talk to them, we had to communicate, and to explain the situation and again, rectify the situation. So we took out their name and show that it's Staff Pro who's hiring. Okay, obviously it's for on behalf of this company, but we didn't show that in our job ads. So it's very important when there's a client who is unhappy with what we're doing is that we take action and we really provide a sincere and intentional listening ear. So the last question is, what openings do we have and how candidates can apply? So our job ads are all over. The best way, or one of the best ways to apply is look for us on Facebook, Staff Pro Agency. Go to our website, staffproagency.com, and call us 908-603-4900. And again, that's 908-603-4900. That's operational 5 a.m. to 12 midnight, and we will connect you to one of our recruiters. And in terms of the openings we have openings across the board. We are looking for temporary nurse aides. We are looking for certified nursing assistants. We are looking for LPNs, RNs, occupational therapists, physical therapist assistants, occupational therapist assistants, speech language pathologists, and sometimes we do have openings for porters and cooks. And those are, as far as I can remember, those are the major positions that we are applying for. So please apply now. The world of healthcare is forever evolving. There are a lot of changes that this industry meets and addresses at any given time. But there are certain constants: integrity, professionalism, honesty, and loyalty. And these are things that we not only look for or want from our employees, but something that Staff Pro wants to be for them. And that's why we not only want to become the agency of choice for healthcare facilities, but really for you, the healthcare professional. And I hope we'll meet you very soon. Again, thank you very much, and bye for now.